Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our afternoon virtual presentation. My name is Neil Dudley. I am the Business Development Manager with AmaWaterways. Today we're going to go through a bit of an overview of the AmaWaterways River Cruise experience. Now, you will notice that during the presentation, you will be on listen-only mode during the presentation, just to ensure there's no background noise and such. But if you have any questions at all during this presentation, please just type them into the little chat box that you see in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, and I will answer them at the end of the presentation, which lasts for about 40 minutes or so. So I welcome you all. This is a presentation we're doing as an overview for all of our guests and their travel advisors from Northern Ontario. Now, one thing to note, if you had friends or family who were not able to tune in for this live presentation, please just get in touch with your travel advisor from Northern Ontario. I do have links available. This presentation will be recorded, so we can send that out to them and they can share it with your friends and family as well. And of course, if you are not represented currently by a travel advisor in the area, please just let me know and I can partner you up with the closest preferred travel advisor from the Northern Ontario region as well. So without further ado, let me get started with today's presentation. Like I said, that is my name. My name is Neil Dudley, but we've got Team Canada. You've got 3 people taking care of everybody here in the lovely country of Canada. Sandra Gardner, that is the lady in the middle. She's our Director of National Accounts, and she was scheduled to join me today, but of course, she is out in Halifax. They are having a bit of a tropical storm come through, so I believe she has actually lost power. So you are getting me solo today. And of course, you've got the lovely Shauna Carter. She is out in the west taking care of everybody in BC, Alberta, and Saskatchewan. So that's Team Canada, but we are part of a bigger team, and this is our family that owns and operates AmaWaterways, because we are a family-owned and operated company. 2 main families since our inception 18 years ago. You've got Rudy and Christine on the left-hand side, husband and wife team from Germany and Austria, really bringing a lot of great in-depth knowledge to our main destination, of course, which is Europe. And they are partnered up with the Murphy family from the US. You're seeing Gary there on the right-hand side. So it's an internationally owned and operated company, and that truly is reflected in the product itself. Now, I often get asked when I'm doing these presentations, where did you come up with the name AmaWaterways? Well, folks, Ama actually is Latin for love, and I can tell you that our owners are extremely passionate and they absolutely love the river cruise experience. So it really made sense at the time to name and incorporate the love that they had for river cruising into the name of their company. So that's actually what AmaWaterways means. It's a love of the river cruise experience. Now, throughout this presentation, you're going to hear me making some comparisons to our ocean cruising cousins, but there are some things that are really, really different to our ocean cruising cousins experience. And of course, the first one has got to be the size. Obviously, it's a much more intimate experience on a river cruise ship. In fact, with AmaWaterways, we have the lowest average number of guests per ship, with 156 guests on our ships over in Europe. Now, of course, oceans take you to the countries, but rivers truly take you through the countries, because all of these beautiful cities and towns that we stop in have been built around the rivers for centuries. This is how they've thrived. This is how they've depended on getting from one place to another. Obviously, all of their trade, everything else has truly been built around the rivers. It is the artery of the continent of Europe. Now, of course, being a much smaller, much more intimate experience is obviously quite advantageous with the current situation going on, having to be socially distanced and such. It makes for a much more comfortable cruising environment when you are on board as well. Now, with AmaWaterways, we're a very innovative style company, so much so that Rudy down there in the bottom right-hand corner, he's not just one of our owners, but he's actually the architect and designer of every one of our ships. And in fact, in our industry, he is considered the godfather of river cruising, basically due to all of these amazing innovations he is constantly bringing out whenever he's bringing out new ships. And one of these great engineering marvels is the design of the exterior of our ships. Now, river cruises sometimes have to deal with something that our ocean cruising cousins do not, and that is sometimes water levels are too high or too low. Well, Rudy, knowing this, designed his fleet to actually have the shallowest draft of any river cruise line. We only need between 4 and 6 feet of water underneath us in order to be able to cruise, while every other river cruise line needs between 8 and 12 feet of water. And oftentimes, it is just a matter of mere inches determining whether or not you are able to cruise. So with AmaWaterways, you know you're in the best position possible, of course, to get your river cruise experience. Now, I can tell you right now, it has actually been Rudy's lifelong dream to always be involved with river cruising. In fact, it goes back to his very first experience over on the rivers. Now, that was back in 1975, and it was over on the Amazon. And I actually have live footage of Rudy's very first experience. So that was actual footage of Rudy on his very first river cruise experience. But fear not, folks, we've come a long ways since Rudy's very first experience. There is no more manual labor involved today. In fact, this is what the AmaWaterways experience looks like today. So that, folks, is a glimpse into the AmaWaterways experience today. Now, currently over on the rivers of Europe, we actually have a fleet of 25 ships sailing the various rivers of Europe. And when Rudy designed his fleet, again, being that innovator, he wanted to make sure that no matter which ship you're on, you're getting that same onboard AmaWaterways experience. So all of the features you just saw in the video exist on each and every one of his ships to ensure that you are getting that same onboard experience. Now, of course, we got about 25 ships in our fleet. A river cruise ship costs anywhere between $40 and $70 million per ship to build. Well, folks, this is something to know. We are a very sustainable company. And in fact, every time we build a brand new river cruise ship, we pay for it in cash up front. We do not carry any debt. We do not actually use any sort of creditors or loans in order to finance the building of our ships. And it makes for a very sustainable company, of course, because having about 25 ships at that cost gives us about $1 billion in assets. And as you can see, a quote from our owner down in there in the bottom left-hand corner by Rudy, "There is no debt on any of our ships. I can sleep at night." And I'm sure that is very reassuring for him, but also for you folks to know that we are a very sustainable company. We will be here long past the COVID situation. So you can definitely book confidently with your travel advisors from Northern Ontario. Now, I do want to highlight one particular ship. She made her debut last year, and it's called the AMAMAGNA. And the AMAMAGNA is the world's largest river cruise ship ever to be built. And honestly, it's been Rudy's kind of pet passion project for the past 7 years. He's been dreaming about bringing this kind of experience over to the Danube River, and it was really designed with a couple of kinds of clients in mind. First of all, there's an interesting fact that 93% of people, once they take a cruise vacation, they continue to take another cruise. Now, a lot of guests have already done the Caribbean, they've done Alaska, they've done the Mediterranean. So they were looking for their next evolution in their cruising experience. And that's why river cruising has really taken off in the last 4 or 5 years. And Rudy recognized this and wanted to bring a lot of ocean cruising elements into a river cruise vessel, which never existed before. And he was able to see that dream realized with the AMAMAGNA. Being twice as wide as the regular river cruise ships provides it with twice as much space as well. So of course, you've got beautiful suites ranging from 355 up to 710 square feet. That, folks, on the largest owner's suite is bigger than some people's condos in the city of Toronto. So fear not, very, very spacious on board. And that kind of a size is something you normally only see on a boutique ocean ship. However, we only added another 40 passengers, 196 guests. That's only slightly bigger than some of the regular 4-star river cruise lines. And like I said, that is because we've got twice as much space to play with and bring these incredible suites over to this AMAMAGNA experience. We also have 4 restaurants on board, and they are all included for you to enjoy. So of course, you got the main restaurant. You've got the chef's table like you'd find on all of our ships. But we've also been able to add Jimmy's family restaurant as well as now al fresco dining experience, much like you would only see, again, on those boutique ocean ships. You've got the rooftop heated pool and the hot tub, and of course, multiple lounges for you to relax and enjoy when we are cruising, including a private movie theater. So very, very unique experience. But the other people that this ship was built for was our past river cruise guests. Anybody who's cruised the Danube, we find that people fall in love with the Danube and they want to go back, but they always tell us they'd like to go back and experience it in a different way. Well, that is what the AMAMAGNA is going to bring to you. You can go back, relive some of the amazing experiences along the Danube in a completely different style on board the AMAMAGNA. Now, as far as where we cruise, folks, we cover all the main rivers of Europe, the Main, the Rhine, the Danube, the Moselle River, all the rivers in France, as well as the Douro in Portugal, and a few exotic destinations outside of continental Europe. Now, when you're on board, there's a lot of innovations, not just on the exterior, but of course, over on the interior, where when Rudy built the ships, again, keeping in mind some of those things our ocean cruising cousins had been doing, he wanted to be able to bring that beautiful outdoor balcony experience to the world of river cruising. So as you can see in that top middle picture, he was able to do exactly that. Couples able to stand outside, enjoy all of the lovely views, but he wanted to kind of perfect the balcony experience because as you can imagine, if it's slightly cooler weather outside or slightly inclement, maybe raining and things like that, you're not always able to enjoy that beautiful balcony experience. So he built what we call the signature twin balcony suites. So you've got the couple in the middle there, of course, on the outdoor balcony, but in that top left-hand corner picture, you can see an indoor mirrored French balcony, again with table, 2 chairs, so the couple's able to sit outside or inside and always enjoy the beautiful balcony experience, no matter what the weather, no matter what the temperature. But this design with the balcony suites also allows us to do something no other river cruise line has been able to do before, and that is to offer triple and quad accommodations. So much like you would find on the ocean ships, you can now enjoy that over on our river cruise ships. This really sets us up perfectly for multi-generational travel, friends wanting to travel together, or even adults traveling with their adult children as well, obviously not wanting to share. We've got interconnecting suites and staterooms as well. Now, on all of our ships, we've got 3 levels of accommodation. You've got the twin balcony suites, you've got the French balcony suites, and you've got the picture window staterooms. And in all of the cabins, you'll find the iMac entertainment system. This has all the standard entertainment features, plus it has access to the internet. Now, Wi-Fi is complimentary throughout your entire cruise, no matter what device you decide to bring, but folks, you can leave the laptops behind if you don't want to bring them because you have full access to the internet through the iMac entertainment system. Now, of course, speaking of entertainment, there is lots for you to do while you are on board your AmaWaterways cruise. You've got the main lounge and bar. That's kind of the main hub of activity. Cruise manager gives his or her port talks here. This is where you can come to relax. This is where our local entertainment happens each and every evening when we are cruising. And after they are done, we've got our onboard musicians to play music into the later hours as well. But maybe you don't want to go to the main lounge. Fear not. We've got our smaller library lounge, a little fireplace, quieter area, some books to read. and our 24-hour cafe and lounge on the other side. Coffee, tea, espresso stations there for you to enjoy anytime that you like. And we also serve tapas throughout the entire day, included for you to enjoy in each and every one of our lounges as well. Speaking of food on board, this is something AmaWaterways truly excels at, folks. Now in that top left corner, that's a picture of our main dining room. Now, it does have 170 seats in there, and on our normal sailings, we only would have 156 guests. What that means, it's open seating. Come and dine whenever, wherever you like. Tables of 2, 4, 6, or 8 for you to enjoy. Now, breakfast and lunch is set up as a buffet, but with AmaWaterways, folks, you never have to do a buffet. If you don't wish to do so, a la carte menu ordering is always available, and dinner, of course, is an a la carte experience. Now, one thing to keep in mind, folks, this is something you may not be aware of, we've actually been cruising the rivers of Europe since the beginning of July. In fact, there's 18 different companies that have all been cruising over in Europe for our European passengers. We are the only North American river cruise line currently sailing, but as a result, we have had to enhance our dining experiences to match to the countries that we are sailing through. So currently, we only have a maximum of 100 guests on board our ship. So the main dining room has 170 seats. We've only got 100 guests on board. That means there's 70 empty seats if everybody was dining at the same time, making it very easy to be socially distant. However, we have the private wine rooms to the left and to the right-hand side of the main dining room. Seats about 8 or 10 guests, just gives you a bit more of a private, intimate dining experience. At the back of the ship, we've got our chef's table restaurant. In fact, it's a totally different menu than what you're going to find in the main restaurant. Seats about 28 guests, and it's an interactive culinary experience. You can see the chefs are back there creating the meals right in front of you. And we make sure everybody gets a chance to dine in here at least once during their journey, because we won't take a second reservation from guests until everybody else has made their first reservation. So already, with only having 100 guests on board and 170 seats in our main dining room, but take out the extra 30 or 40 guests that would be dining in those other dining areas, makes for a very easy socially distant experience while you're on board. Plus, we even added in-room dining if you wanted to do that as well. So another part of the reason why guests are really booking up the river cruise experience, because they know that it's already a very safe, much more intimate environment on board. Now, food is something we want to make sure that you are truly experiencing that has been inspired from the region. So the chefs are actually designing the menus based on the areas we are traveling through. And this was recognized by Shendero de Sur, which is the oldest gastronomic society in the world. And it basically rates a 5-star restaurant, food, wine, and service that they actually serve. And we are the only river cruise line to have ever been invited to be members of Shendero de Sur. So it really just goes to speak to the quality of food you'll be enjoying on board. And we know people are a lot more health conscious these days when they are traveling, so fear not. Vegetarian and vegan meals, you'll actually find those as everyday options on your menus. We can take care of any sort of dietary requests that come our way. In fact, you're even going to find gluten-free snack corners, detox water stations of the day scattered throughout the ship. Some of the other onboard services, though, that we have, of course, if you are the kind of cruiser who likes to get a massage or get your hair done, there are those services available on board. There's a fitness center on each and every one of our ships, as well as about 20 or 25 bikes, free of charge for you to take out in any port of call, should you wish to do so. But probably our most popular area of recreation would have to be the rooftop heated pools we have on each and every one of our ships over in mainland Europe. Now, over in France, where our ships are a bit smaller, these are hot tubs up in the top area for you to relax, but an amazing area for you to go up and enjoy all of the lovely sights when we are cruising or even when we are in a port of call. Now, this is something very different to our ocean cruising cousins, folks. Our cruise manager might have told you about an incredible vintage of wine that's only available in that next port of call, or maybe a specialty liqueur. Folks, you can bring that, buy it, bring it back on board and enjoy it wherever you like, including up at the pool. There's even a bartender up there to take care of your every need. Now, I do get asked a couple of questions normally about the pool, like when is it open? Well, it is open 24/7 the entire time that we are cruising, and it is open our entire season from March right up through till the end of December when we do those famous Christmas markets cruises. Now, yes, I will tell you that in November and December, we do tend to turn the temperature up just a little bit if you are going on one of those cruises. But folks, if you are going to take advantage of one of our famous Christmas markets cruises, I'd like to encourage my fellow Canadian travelers, please bring your swimwear. Go up and enjoy the pool, because it's the perfect opportunity for you to meet your fellow Canadian travelers, because we're the only ones using the pool at that time. Now, we have had some onshore and onboard enhancements. Like I said, Rudy is always looking to add and upgrade and always enhance your AmaWaterways River Cruise experience. And probably my favorite of the recent enhancements happens to be the My AmaCruise app. Now, we are the only river cruise line to have an app dedicated for you, our guests, to use both before, during, and after your river cruise experience. Now, of course, beforehand, you can find out all sorts of information on the cruise you'll be taking, on the ship you'll be traveling on. You can download your documents in there as well. But my favorite part of this app has got to be the photo taking capability. Now, I will assume each and every one of you on this presentation today has been on a guided tour at some stage in your life. That means you've listened to the tour guide take you around an area and tell you all about those beautiful sites. They tell you about that beautiful castle over there, and they tell you all about the history, and you take a picture to remember that. And you carry on the tour a little bit more, and they tell you about that stunning church over there. They tell you all about the history, and you take a picture to remember that. And you get back home after your 1 or maybe your 2-week vacation, and you start looking back through your hundreds and hundreds of pictures, and you look back through some of these going, I have absolutely no idea what that is, let alone why I took a picture of this thing. Well, folks, if you take all of your pictures now through the My AmaCruise app, all of the notes that the tour guide gave you on that day can automatically be linked to the pictures you took that day. Form into your own digital photo album for you to look at for years and years, and remember every part of your AmaWaterways River Cruise experience. Now, in 2018, we added a program called Sip and Sail. Now, drinks were always included with all of your meals with AmaWaterways, whether that was alcoholic or non-alcoholic. But what we were finding is that guests would go off on their included sightseeing tour, and they'd come back to the ship, they'd go down to their cabins and start getting ready for the cruise manager's port talk, which happens each and every afternoon. And guests would come down to the main lounge, and that's about 80% of our guests were actually purchasing a beverage from the bar. So in 2018, we decided to include these as well. It's essentially a happy hour, but it's unlimited beverages, whether these are alcoholic or non-alcoholic, leading right up until dinner time begins. Now, of course, speaking of shore excursions, there are excursions included for you to enjoy each and every day. And with our programs, we actually, in the larger cities and towns, give you a choice of tours. So it allows you to customize your touring experience. And fear not, they will never be sold out. You don't have to pre-book any of these. If one person decides they want to do the tour, or the entire ship decides they want to do it, we will just add more tour guides. And we always keep with a small touring group experience, maximum of 20 guests. However, since the COVID situation and our return to the river cruising, we've actually lowered that to only 10 guests. And we utilize the quiet box system when you are on tour. So the tour guide has a little microphone that they speak into. You've got the little earpieces that you put in, so you don't have to worry about huddling around the tour guide to hear what he or she is saying. Again, ensuring perfect social distancing while you're getting your beautiful guided touring experiences. Of course, we talked about dining and the fact that we've added in-room on your balcony dining. And last year, we became the first river cruise line to have a full-time wellness host on every single one of our ships, offering complimentary classes for you to enjoy while you're on board, should you wish to do so. So yes, we are constantly upgrading our health and safety protocols, but as a result of actually sailing since the beginning of July, I am actually able to show you a river cruise experience with these beautiful health and safety protocols enhanced. We took this on one of our cruises just a few weeks ago, so it's going to give you a great idea of exactly that beautiful luxury AmaWaterways river cruise experience, even with the enhanced health and safety protocols in place.
Our world has changed, but the rivers continue to flow. As the proud godmother of our award-winning Ama Christina, I'm honored to tell you that she became one of the very first river cruise ships to start sailing the European rivers this summer.
We want to reassure our guests that you will experience the same wonderful AmaWaterways service you have come to love. with some important enhancements to our health and safety protocols to keep both you and our crew healthy throughout your journey. As always, you will be warmly welcomed aboard. Your pre-cruise health questionnaire will be updated and temperatures will be taken. We will sanitize your luggage before delivering it to your stateroom. You will notice our friendly crew wearing face coverings throughout the ship, and we kindly ask you to wear them whenever moving through public spaces. We have made enhancements to the ship so that you may enjoy yourself without the use of a face covering. We are also limiting the number of guests on board. Our crew will be happy to serve you at your table, as well as provide you a delicious room service menu during mealtimes. While you are relaxing on the sun deck, taking in the breathtaking views, we are busy sanitizing all public areas, exercise equipment and mats, bicycles and helmets. Our incredible variety of included shore excursions are always conducted in small groups. Even with these enhanced health and safety measures in place, our guests are still enjoying a wonderful experience. Since we started AmaWaterways 18 years ago, we have been passionate about creating luxurious, authentic, and inspiring river cruises for every traveler. One of the most important aspects for our guests is the luxury of having peace of mind while traveling. For your comfort and safety, we are offering exclusive airport transfers when you purchase your flight through AmaWaterways. We want to assure you that the health and safety of our guests and crew will always be our top priority.
And we look forward to welcoming you on board one of our luxurious river cruise ships soon again.
So we're very excited to be able to bring you that video so you can really see the beautiful AmaWaterways River Cruise experience that we've been doing since the beginning of July. Now, of course, those are great enhancements, allows you, of course, to book with confidence with your travel advisors from Northern Ontario. So let's go into some of those itineraries, including some new itineraries that we've actually got coming out as well, because we are adding 2 more ships to our fleet. Yes, 3 more ships, 2 ships in Europe, 1 ship in our exotic destinations next year. So we've got a few new ships coming over into France. We're actually going to expand our fleet to have 5 ships over there. So instead of having 1 on each of the 3 rivers there, we'll actually have 2 on the Seine and over on the Rhone and Saône. We are adding another ship over to the Danube and Rhine rivers, and we're adding a beautiful new ship over on to the Nile River in Egypt. So let's start with some of the main categories that we have that you will find in our brochures. Of course, you can see all of our products online. Just get in touch with your travel advisor. They can guide you through all the different experiences. But the most popular river cruise that first timers tend to go to would be over on the Danube. We've got a great range of cruises for you to enjoy, 7 up to 14 night experiences, depending on where you're wanting to go and how long you are wanting to cruise. You'll find experiences between Vilshoven and Budapest, or between Budapest and Bucharest, or you can do the best of the West and the best of the East in a beautiful 14-night experience from Vilshoven down to Bucharest on the Grand Danube. You've also got those famous Christmas markets cruises that I spoke about a little bit earlier. My absolute favorite river cruise experience. Of course, you get all the same great inclusions, plus you get a chance to go off and explore these beautiful Christmas markets that every city and town does in a very unique fashion. Now, one of the biggest highlights on a Danube River Cruise experience would have to be the city of Budapest. Oftentimes, it is either your start or your ending portion, and we are usually overnighting in Budapest on almost all of our cruises as well, and there's a very good reason for that. Budapest, I believe, is the absolute most beautiful city in Europe in the evening. Lit up like a Christmas tree. You can kind of see the Parliament buildings in the center of this picture here. Absolute stunning the way they've lit up all of their famous monuments, their bridges, and as a result, we do a very unique experience called our Illuminations Cruise. It's a 1-hour cruise up and down the Danube through the cities of Buda and Pest on either side to give you the best opportunity for pictures because a lot of these buildings, of course, are all facing the river, and the only way you can really see them is from the river. So it really is one of the best highlights on any of our Danube River Cruise experiences. And of course, then there's those Christmas markets that I talked about. And the reason I love them is you get all the same great inclusions, but every city and town does their own very unique Christmas markets. This just happens to be a shot in Vienna, but there's 7 different Christmas markets all set up around the city of Vienna. Budapest, everywhere has them, and they really are dedicated to that city. It's their own unique artisans that you'll see there, and it really is a great social experience because all of the locals come out. They enjoy their markets, they enjoy the Glühwein, and it really is a social interactive experience in addition to those famous artisan crafts that you're going to see each and every day that you're on these as well. Now, the second section is the Rhine River, and a great set of rivers taking you from Amsterdam down through to the Swiss port city of Basel. You'll find 7, 10, 11, and 12 night experiences over on the rivers. Now, with some of the longer rivers, river cruises, it will actually take you in to a couple of the other rivers that are offshoots of the Rhine, over onto the Main River and the Moselle River. Of course, the 7-night experiences can't quite get you on to those other areas. So if you do have the time to spend, I highly recommend going with a slightly longer cruise to ensure that you get to go on the Main and the Moselle. Very different experiences, and the Moselle, in fact, is considered one of the most beautiful rivers over in Europe, as you can see in that picture in the right-hand side. Beautiful old castles that are perched high atop the hills overlooking the rivers and the towns that in the olden days they ruled over. So really a very unique experience as well. And one of those highlights are going to be the Moselle. If you get a chance to do one of the longer cruises, you get to cruise through the Moselle Curve. Very unique river cruise experience. And with any of these kinds of things like the Moselle Curve or the Rhine Gorge, for instance, we always cruise through these during the day for you to enjoy. And oftentimes we'll have a guest lecturer on board to tell you all about the history and how the town developed around such unique river experiences. The third section is dedicated to the rivers of France and Portugal. Now, in these countries, they basically have a number of rivers, but it's one river. They're not interconnected, unlike the rivers are over in Europe. So in France, of course, you've got the Rhone and Saône going through the heart of France. You've got the Seine River up in the northwestern quadrant. And of course, you've got the rivers of the Bordeaux in the southwest region. Now, up until this year, we had 1 ship sailing on each of those rivers. But like I mentioned earlier, we are expanding our French fleet to have 2 ships on the Seine, 2 ships over on the Rhone and Saône. As a result, we're offering some new itineraries. The one up on the Seine will actually be a one-way cruise now, going from Paris over to Le Havre to allow you to do a post-cruise extension off into the famous Brittany region and say some famous sites like Mount Saint Michel. We're adding a second ship on to the Rhone River going through the heart of France. And this cruise will actually be taking you up the Rhone and the Saône. So it's an extended river cruise experience, and the Rhone regions and the Saône regions are very, very different. So it gives you 2 different cultural looks at the heart of France. And of course, there is the Bordeaux. And then down on the Douro, we actually added a second ship to the Douro last year. This is due to the demand of the Douro River Cruise region. It's become extremely popular. So again, offering 2 7-night experiences with opportunities to extend your stays in cities like Lisbon, Barcelona, or Madrid. Now, we often have guests wanting to do back-to-back river cruises because they're saying, well, I'd like to do France and I'd like to do Portugal. Not a problem, folks. Very easy to tie these in because the pre and post packages will allow you to do that. So if you want to do a 7-night cruise on the Rhone, head off to Barcelona and then do a Douro River cruise after that stay, very easy to do that as well. So do keep that in mind if you're looking to do a longer experience over in France and Portugal. So like I said, whenever we do our city stopovers, such as in Paris or Barcelona or Lisbon, 4-day, 3-night packages, we stay in 5-star centrally located hotels, daily breakfast, sightseeing, tours included. And these packages are escorted by our AmaWaterways cruise manager. And we are the only river cruise line where the stopover packages are escorted. So you get that fully escorted experience both on land and on the river. And this is one of those highlights for the new Seine River Cruise, Impressions of the Seine, allowing you to go off into the Brittany region and see this stunning Mount Saint Michel. I want to mention our celebration of wine river cruises because this is, again, something that only AmaWaterways does. And it was the brainchild of this lady named Liz Barrett. And her idea was to bring a North American wine host over onto a couple of our cruises, have them bring their wines from over here in North America, what we refer to as the New World wines, do some comparisons and tastings on board to the old world wines of the regions you are traveling through. You get all the same great inclusions plus a few extra included excursions off to some exclusive chateaus and wineries along the way. Well, we started with 2 of these in 2009 just to see how they would go. Next year, we'll be operating 64 different wine river cruises. So obviously, they've gone very, very well. And folks, you do not have to be a serious wine lover in order to enjoy these cruises, because what these cruises allow you to do is truly enjoy the history of wine and how it relates to Europe and how the other wines from around the world actually developed as a result. So it is really just an extra enhancement to your amazing river cruising experience. Now, moving slightly outside of continental Europe, down to a few other incredible areas for river cruising, including down on the Mekong River in Southeast Asia, where we were the first river cruise line to cruise this incredible area. Now, in 2016, we built a brand new ship called the AMADARA. You can see her in the top left-hand corner. It replaced our older ship because, again, Rudy wanted to make sure that no matter where you're river cruising with us, you are getting that same onboard AmaWaterways experience. So the AMADARA has 120 guests, and it has all twin balcony suites, exactly like our European ships. You can see that in the bottom left-hand corner. Now, folks, if you are going to go down here, I encourage you, take the full 15-night package, allowing you to go up and see northern Vietnam with Hanoi and Halong Bay, as well as the river cruise and extended options in southern Vietnam and over in Cambodia, because all 3 regions are very different cultural experience. So I definitely encourage you to try to do the full 15-night package in this area. And finally, over on the continent of Africa, we have 2 incredible river cruises. The first one being our wildlife river cruise over on the Chobe River on the very intimate Zambezi Queen that you see in the bottom left-hand corner. Only 28 guests on the Zambezi Queen, but just like with any of our ships, we want to make sure you're getting that same onboard experience. So beautiful balcony suites ranging from 235 up to 500 square feet. Now, of course, we know that when guests go to Africa, it is a bucket list trip. And the main reason, of course, is to go and see the wildlife. And with a Chobe River cruise, we can guarantee exactly that, because it is the only watering hole between Namibia and Botswana, meaning all of these animals must come to the river every single day to bathe, to feed, and that's where you'd be sitting on the beautiful Zambezi Queen. We do land safari tours, we do water-based safari tours, and of course you can extend your stay, see other parts of South or East Africa. So 10 up to 28-day experiences, including the opportunity to add the Rwanda gorillas package as well. But in January of this year, we announced our return to the stunning Nile River over in Egypt. Now, we say return because we wanted to come to the Nile again with our own AmaWaterways product. Every other company that cruises on the Nile River have to use a third party's vessel, and of course, therefore, not guaranteeing that same onboard experience. Well, that is why Rudy has been very excited, because we will be bringing our own ship over on to the Nile River in September of next year. The program is going to be called Secrets of Egypt and the Nile. 7-night cruise round trip between Luxor, along with 4 nights in the historical city of Cairo. 3 nights at the beginning, 1 night at the end. So it is an 11-night package. But of course, there are opportunities to extend your stay if you'd like to go and do pre-packages in either Dubai or in Jordan, or post-packages over in Israel. Now, the ship's going to be called the Amadalia, and again, an intimate environment with only 68 guests on board, but of course with those twin balcony suites, just like on all of our AmaWaterways ships. You've got the multiple restaurants, the rooftop heated pool, so very incredible experience. In fact, it's become one of our fastest selling river cruises since we announced her in January of earlier this year. Now, there's great offers, and with river cruising, folks, please keep in mind, the earlier you book, the better offer you are going to receive. In fact, for 2021, we're already 73% sold out. Now, yes, of course, we are currently suspended over on the rivers for our international passengers. But as I mentioned, we've actually been river cruising since the beginning of July for our European guests. Now, a lot of those guests who are on suspended sailings have rebooked for 2021, but it's also the reason we brought our 2022 programs out about 6 months ahead of time, because some guests already had plans for 2021. So they want to book and make sure that they got the river cruise, the type, the date, the cabin, everything else like that they wanted. So we brought 2022 out earlier so that guests could book into that. In fact, we're already 24% sold out for 2022 as well. But I will tell you right now, the most popular early booking offer we have runs till the end of September, and it's our Fly Free to Europe promotion. Now, right now, as we know, there's a lot of uncertainty as to what airline prices are going to be when everything finally stabilizes. So why not take that worry out of your river cruise booking? Take advantage of one of the over 100 cruise departure dates where it has free round trip airfare, or if you already have points, of course, you can upgrade to business class for an amazing price as well. But in addition, as a special thank you for tuning in today, I've got 4 virtual show specials, and you will not see these anywhere at all. Our travel advisors can book these exclusively for you. And what we've done is we've set up some of our spring departures for next year and each of our 4 main waterways that we've just talked about this afternoon. So you could do the 7-night cruise on the romantic Danube between Bielshoven and Budapest. You could do a 7-night cruise experience between Amsterdam and Basel on our Rhine Castles and Swiss Alps itinerary. That famous Tulip Time river cruise that I mentioned, happening in March, April, and early May. Or, of course, there is a Bordeaux, so one of our French products as well. We've got 1 date for each of these 4 sailings, and it is 2 for the price of 1 on our French and twin balcony suite. And you will be getting a copy of the screen that you're seeing here sent over to you. So if one of those dates work, take advantage of that. Take it over to your travel advisor from Northern Ontario, and they will be able to book you on to one of those incredible virtual show specials as well. Now, when you're in there, though, make sure to always add Travel Waiver Plus. This is basically a assurance, not insurance, but assurance. It really allows you to book with complete peace of mind, allowing you to change your mind for absolutely any reason. And any reason means anything that insurance may not cover. Now, we've had this policy in place long before COVID ever happened, because any number of things could come up and you would like to change the date of your cruise. Well, if you've added this, you'll be able to do that with no change fees, no cancellation penalties whatsoever. Maybe, folks, your first grandchild is now all of a sudden due the week that you had booked your river cruise for next year or into 2022. Well, folks, you can use this up until 24 hours prior to the start of your cruise for any cruise over in Europe, 90 days prior for our exotics. But again, really allowing you to book with full peace of mind so that you don't wait to book your river cruise. You're able to go in, talk to them now, and get the dates and such that you like and have full peace of mind by adding the Travel Waiver Plus. But finally, folks, as a special thank you for joining us this afternoon, in addition to whatever the early booking offers are, I'd like to offer another $200 off per couple for any new booking you make with your travel advisor within 14 days of this presentation. And another offer, I just want to let you know, there's a Canadian promotion on till the end of September where you're actually getting free prepaid gratuities as well. So it really is the perfect time to book your river cruise, either for later this year for our Christmas markets cruises, into next year, or into 2022. So folks, that marks our return to the river sailings. But if you do have any questions, now is the perfect opportunity to type them in that little chat box that you see in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, and I can answer any questions that you may have. Of course, if any questions come up after the presentation is over, please just get in touch with your advisors, your travel advisors from Northern Ontario. They'll be more than happy to help out. And if they don't know the answers to the questions, I guarantee you they know how to get a hold of me 24/7. So I can always get them the answers to the questions that you seek as well. But folks, I don't see any questions popping up in the box, so I will assume I was very thorough, covered it all, and you're all ready to book your AmaWaterways River Cruise experience. We look forward to welcoming you on board soon, and I want to wish you the best and enjoy the rest of your day today as well. Thanks, everyone.